Fentanyl. The word is becoming familiar, but too many of us still don't grasp the reality.
Spokane man will spend 20 years in prison for supplying drug dealers with fentanyl in eastern Washington.
A huge drug seizure in Orange County. The sheriff there says they found so much fentanyl that it was enough to overdose every person in Orange County. And authorities say the problem's getting worse. KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Stacey Butler.
I'm Darren Nightingale, and I'm 51 years old, and I was raised in Pacific Beach.
Tell me a little bit about your upbringing, like your parents and how you grew up.
I think probably from the outside looking in, it was really, really normal, really just kind of like, when I say Pacific Beach, more specifically, it's Bird Rock. So it's this area between La Jolla and Pacific Beach. And a lot of rich kids, a lot of rich families, and we had some issues in the house. It wasn't that smooth, you know. My mom did everything that she could to make all the right decisions, and she tried really hard to deal with the problems that I gave her as a young child. I was really difficult, you know what I mean? I acted out, and I had behavioral issues super young. Early Ritalin, like super early Ritalin. I don't know if a lot of people were there when Ritalin started, but I was popping Ritalin like 82 or 83. I was born in 74, so I think I was introduced to Ritalin pre-10 years old. And I remember eating multiple Ritalins super young. So I didn't make it easy on everybody around me. It was hard growing up in the La Jolla area as well, because the rich kids were doing drugs and kind of getting away with it. There was like this whole, you know, do what you want, don't pay any consequences kind of lifestyle. So it was prevalent at a young age. There was a lot of drugs in that area.
Did something happen in your family life, or what was there like a shift where like things got worse progressively in your addiction? And what age?
Yeah.
What happened?
So I have to preface this conversation as that when we discussed this prior, my apprehension with doing the interview was that it's not like getting up at Old Town Speakers AA meeting and talking in front of 100 people, and then everyone walks to the car, goes to the coffee shop, and forgets everything I say. You're asking me to talk on camera. This never goes away. This is going to be on the internet. So it was hard to get me here, and it's hard for me to answer certain questions. Like, I'm very apprehensive about it. But when you're 6 or 7 years old and they back your old man out of his own house at gunpoint, and you're in your own car with your mom, and they're taking your dad out of the house, SDPD, my boys. You don't know what's going on, you don't understand what's happening, and you're unfamiliar with the situation. And in that same time period, you're in the car again, coming home from elementary school, and Moms tries to kill him. Tries to run him down with the Volvo. They're boxy, but they're safe. And when you slam a Volvo into a Chevy C10, and the old man was like a fucking rabbit. Jumped into the back of the truck, jumped out of the back of the truck, So we run into the truck. You don't know what's going on, but it's definitely impactful. And then 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there, they pulled me out of school. I must have been in the 6th grade. Was I in the 7th grade, 6th grade? Now we're at the hospital, and he's been stabbed 6 times from running around in Mission Beach causing trouble. The same hospital that I was in 10 years later, stabbed 6 times in the same hospital. So they say that you, what's the word I'm looking for? They say that you replicate what you know. But I didn't know what was going on. Looking back, I knew what was going on. The old man was on a good one. I'm sure he doesn't want to know that I told anyone that, but that ended. But I began. He stopped because he had opportunities in life that brought us to where we are today, you know. My father purchased the business in '84 that we own now and turned his life around. And I just started to get warmed up, man. 84, 85, 10, 11, 12. 88, methamphetamine. 89, you know, the dope was yellow back then. It was good. But a lot of things happened. A kid at La Jolla High overdosed on heroin right out of the gate when we were young. You know, they were bringing kids in to La Jolla from, what do they call it now? Underprivileged neighborhoods. So they were bringing buses of kids in to La Jolla. And lucky for me, that was a relief because I wasn't getting along with the kids in La Jolla. We weren't fitting in together. We did the same dope and drugs, but we didn't have the same mentality. I didn't feel it, and they didn't feel me, so I was always very out of place. But the boys that they brought in from other neighborhoods, yeah, they became my best friends. Like we bonded very well. One of my best friends that got brought in from East San Diego, his mom and dad were house cleaners and landscapers, and they got a little apartment in La Jolla. They then moved there, and my homeboy then moved to La Jolla, and I still know him today. He's my oldest friend. He's on the run for the internet. You can turn yourself in, dog. It's okay. You'll be all right. And then just, what more can I say to incriminate myself that I was...
When things like, when did it get to the point where you're like, okay, this is no longer like high school experimenting and like...
Oh no, I did it for years. I got kicked out of schools. I went to all the high schools. Shout out Twain if you went to Twain. I'm sure a lot of people went to Twain. I went to Twain, and I couldn't get into school. I got kicked out of Twain, and I went to juvenile hall once or twice and realized immediately, I think that's when I went to my first program, was somewhere around there, mandatory meetings or whatever, and I realized that I didn't want to be in jail. I remember specifically thinking to myself that jail wasn't where I wanted to be. So in my drug addiction, and I never heard anyone say it, maybe I have, but I like to comply and complete. So I get busted and I stop. I dry up immediately. I go to your program. I stay in your program. PC 1000, for those that are gonna get that confused with something else, it was a program. It was called PC 1000, and I would stop. I would piss clean, and I would finish, and then I would go off to the races. I would get on probation, and I would stop because I knew that I could get through the sobriety and not go to jail, because I really didn't care for it. It just wasn't my thing. I didn't fit in good in there in jail either. You know what I mean? But it never, not until recently. I mean, I have a couple of years sober now, 10 years sober, but it never clicked that it was just for fun, or that it wasn't. Even in high school, it was drug addiction. I was strung out from the beginning. You know, like I sell drugs. I'm a drug dealer. Like, I don't do crime. I don't break into houses. I don't rob places. I don't rob people. I find a paisa and I load up and I sell drugs. You know what I mean? I like powdered cocaine for sale. I'm a powdered cocaine dealer from way back. You know what I mean? If I go to the bathroom and we're at the bar or whatever, and you even remotely touch your nose, I'm asking if you want to buy a bag. Like, I'm aggressive cocaine dealer from way back, and I did it for probably 25 years. Powdered cocaine, using crystal and cocaine or whatever else came my way. But for the most part, that's my problem, is I like to sell coke.
What took you down? Like, obviously something happened. Like, where was the shift in your life when you said you've been doing that for 25 years? So something must have happened.
Well, maybe talk about the raid.
Yeah.
You know,
It
like
was-
that
it was-
experience.
Was that the raid? Was that when everything changed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it stopped. I got sober. Let me go back one step. I got sober in 98 in drug court. They sent me to drug court. I went to drug court in 96 under Bonnie DeMonis. In the first few rounds of drug court, I went to drug court. And when I got out of drug court, it didn't really stick. And I went back. They sent me back to drug court. I went back right away in 98. And I kind of picked up on it, you know what I mean? I felt better this time. I was starting to mature a little bit, and I felt better. And I met a group of guys that were in AA that were more like me. One of the boys that you recently had on the interviews, Tier. I met them, and I met a core group of men that was like me in sobriety, and I got sober for 10 years. I was sober from 98 to 08. And bad marriage, ultimate stress. I wasn't ready. I wanted to get high. I went to the dentist and they lit me up and I was fucking off again. And then 08 to 14, I met my current wife in 2010 and took her on a massive journey. And dangerous journey for that to be said. And then I warned her. I said, "Listen, we're gonna get busted. I'm a good guy, but we're gonna do bad shit, and it's gonna happen. I don't know when. I don't know how." And it did. And they flashbang grenades, and they fucking took us down, and it was super ugly. And I was gonna go to jail for a long time. I had too many PC 1000s and drug courts, and they were like, "What the fuck? You've been here 8 or 9, 10 times in the last 20 years. They're like, "You're done, you're done. You're done. We're gonna break you off." And they wanted to give me like 16 with half. I had a ton of dope. It was fucking stupid. Everything I had on me was just ridiculous. And I never carried guns because all the guys that carried guns in the 90s all got broke the fuck off football numbers, so I never played with guns. I never had a gun. But I had too much dope in the end, and they were pissed, so. I separated from my wife. I told her, "Listen, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna go find my kid's mom, and I'm gonna go to jail." And then I did that, and then I got the fighting spirit back. In that time, I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to do this." And I sold everything, and there was a couple cars, and there was items, and I made it happen. I went to my mom, And I got a lawyer, and the lawyer was like, listen, bro, it's real simple. You guys are just pawns. We're gonna go in the back room. Give me enough money. I'll take you. I'll give up fucking Gutierrez. It doesn't matter. He goes, it's not about what you did or what it is. It's how much money you give me. And when I go in the back room and meet with the other prosecutors and the whatever, I'll give up one of my guys that didn't give me enough, and you'll go to another program. And I was like, what the fuck? You're serious? And he was like, yeah, I'm fucking serious. Oh, okay. I'll get the money together. So I got the money together, and I got a brand new AB 109. And they were like, oh, we're gonna give you 4 years, but you gotta do 1. And then you can go out on AB 109 or whatever it was. I still wasn't even coherent as to what was going on. I was still in a fog, bro. I didn't know what was happening. I was just like, oh. So I did a year, and my children's mother's, she's kind of a badass in the streets, so she had to go do her thing, which is understandable. She's still doing her thing 10 years later. Savage. But my wife didn't give up on me, even though I had cast her off. And I made a relationship with her while I was in jail. And I don't know how soon this happened before I got out of jail, but she alerted me that my wife had gone homeless and left all the children with her mom. And that when I got out, I would have to go get the kids. And it kind of clicked. I didn't sober up. I was high the whole year. She paid for everything. My wife paid for everything. We were doing heroin the whole year long. I wasn't sober. But I handed off my little bag like 4 or 5 days before I got out and got clean. And I went to the Lighthouse for Men. I went to the Lighthouse and completed their program. And I went and got the kids and took the kids to a little tiny apartment in Pacific Beach with my wife, who didn't really know my kids. And what an amazing woman. Helped me raise my kids for the last 11 years. They both went to college, and my son just got out of prison. Yeah, he just did, out of the 10 years I was gone, he did 8.5. Out of the 10 years I've been sober recently, he did 8.5. Yeah, he's fucking, like, you know, when I said that, you know, you replicate what you live, or whatever, how you see your father grow up. He misunderstood, and he took it to the fucking max. And he almost got maxed out, but we got a break recently. So we got him out of jail about a year ago, and he's sober and straight for a year. He went to a program himself, and that kid's gonna get married, man. He's gonna make it. Church every day, married a church girl. He's gonna marry a church girl. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what you do now, because you're an entrepreneur. You got a lot of shit going on. You're like a master jeweler. Tell us about it.
In 99, I always worked for my dad. Always worked for my dad. If I'm totally spun out, I don't go in, but I try to like manage it. But in 99, when I met Tier at a meeting, they brought me to Mission Beach Tattoo. And I would work for my father during the day, and I would go to Mission Beach Tattoo at night and all day on Saturday and Sunday. Because these guys were sober, and then we would leave the tattoo shop, go to meetings, and I would go to work in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, work with my dad, and then go to the tattoo shop, and then go to meetings, and we would just hang out. And 1 year, 2 year, 01, it turned into more than just hanging out. And the owner of the tattoo shop gave me a set of keys, and said he was moving to Orange County or buying a house in Orange County to fix up, and could I help him manage the tattoo shop? That was in like 2001, 2002 maybe at the latest, 2001. And I worked for my dad all day, go to the tattoo shop at night, and in 2 years I somehow managed to become like a manager of a tattoo parlor. I don't even really know how, but it happened. In 2002, he said that Mission Beach Tattoo was self-contained and he didn't need me there. And he said, we're gonna open up a new store on Garnett Avenue for you, and you can go there. And so we opened up another store under Mission Beach Tattoo in 2002. And I'd work for my dad all day and then go to the tattoo shop, and I got paid really good. And it took a lot of my time, and I didn't focus any time with my dad. I was ever willing to, 4:45 just to leave my dad's shop. I wanted to go to the tattoo shop. I wanted to tattoo. I wanted to get out of it. I didn't want to be with my father every day. I thought it was stupid. I didn't see my father making any money. I didn't see my father doing anything that was, I don't know, fancy or glamorous in my eyes. The guy was just fucking sitting there working. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. So through all the ups and downs and the trouble that I had, sobriety, and then using, you know, my father doesn't want me there when I'm using, but the tattoo shop doesn't give two fucking shits. You know what I mean? Tattoo shop didn't care, so I worked at the tattoo shop. I left my dad a couple times. But when I got out in 2015, I told my wife, I said, man, I need some boat shoes. I need some topsiders. I need some khakis. No, I'm not joking. I need some boat shoes and some khakis, and I need a preppy button-up. And she was like, for what? I said, I'm going back to the jewelry store. Something's missing, and I have plans. I didn't know what the plans were. I didn't have any idea about what I wanted, but I just knew that something was missing there. And the tattoo shop, when I got out of jail in 2015, wasn't going to have me back. I wasn't invited back because I corrupted and ruined everybody in the business within reach. I fucked everybody up. I mean, everybody's, you know, you're on your own with your decisions, but it doesn't help when the guy sitting in the corner is fucking, you know what I mean? It was pretty bad. I fucked everybody up. And I wasn't invited back. And I didn't really want to go back because I had the girls now, so I had to come home from the jewelry shop and be a dad, which a lot of times people say, oh, you're such a good father, but we have to be honest and say that their stepmother was a really good mother. That when I came home from the jewelry shop, I may have been there and I may have put eyes on the homework and whatever, and I wasn't in the streets and the girls saw me come home, but somebody else sat there at that table and did all the work, and it wasn't me. But I was present for it. I understood what was going on. Someone had to be the authority of the situation, you know what I mean? So I was the authority, but maybe not so involved. And didn't want to go to the tattoo shop because I wanted to come home. And I thought that I could fix something better for the jewelry. 2015, 2020, as everybody knows, the shit kind of hit the fan. I'm in Pacific Beach. There's nobody out. I'm driving around PB. It's fucking ghost town. And guess what? Dickhead's over there working on his tattoo shop. My partner. I pull up. I go, what's up? He goes, man, I need you, man. I need you. I can't do this. I'm not a people person. You're my guy. Are you good? I go, I'll let you know. So boom, it's on the table, but I got a senior in high school, a junior in high school. I smell college down the road. I see the tattoo shop coming back because I need the money, because I have plans. So I take my job back at the tattoo shop, and there is no jewelry shop. There's no jewelry shop because of the 2020 thing. And but the phone's ringing because everybody's got this weird excess of financial gains, checks and shit. So my phone's blowing up. And now I'm a bench jeweler doing fix-it shit for nothing, and I'm getting hit up for things that I've never sold before. Big stuff. So I fulfilled my first large order. It was fucking huge. This kid had so much money. I called someone. I was like, I need the biggest Cuban you can get. And I sold this huge Cuban necklace, and I made a bunch of money. And the phone rang, and someone wanted another one, and just went on and on for weeks and weeks. So I fulfilled all the orders. I went back to work for the tattoo shop. I took all the money. I turned around and I said, where do I go and buy this shit? Because if there's one thing I know how to do is sell some shit. I can fucking put it on a scale and sell it. And maybe it's gold or maybe it's diamonds, but I can do it if I put my mind to it. And I don't need anything, so I didn't spend anything. And I budgeted and I waited and I did it. And to answer the question, I'm an entrepreneur. I took my father's store over without completely throwing him out. I've redone everything, reorganized everything, completely aggressively started a new business model, never giving up what he built, you know. I work at the tattoo shop, and I love being in the tattoo business. I have a lot of friends, and I love these kids, man. They're just so eager, you know, and tattooing is such a wild thing, you know. It's like people really dig it, so I like it a lot. Is it an end for tattooing for me? Quiet as it's kept, yeah, probably sooner than later. Because when I landed on Garnett in 2002, there was this old fuck named John Watts at Ink Spot Tattoo, and he was fucking gray and old, and we thought he was a fucking weirdo for it. And guess who's gray and old now? Guess who's sitting there with a bunch of fucking young kids? It's an infinite number. Not an infinite number, it's a finite number. It's gonna end soon. I don't wanna be out there with these 20-year-old chicks and these 20-year-old kids, dude. I just don't fit in anymore. You know what I mean? I sit there and smoke cigars. I mean, I'm not a fucking boomer, but it's fucking bizarre how they look at me. So they'll push me out. They'll push me out. But as far as the jewelry business goes, there's no ceiling to it. There's no ceiling to it. You know, I could go on the internet, talk a little bit about my family problems, but I could never tell you what happened downtown, where it's going and what's going on. It's fucking mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. And it's so much work. No wonder I didn't want to sit there like this fucking guy. My dad was sitting there, he was fucking busting his ass. He was busting his ass. Now I bust my ass. I fucking love. No wonder he was sitting there doing this. Because I didn't know what he was doing. I just thought he was doing nothing. You know, he's killing it. So now we're killing it.
What's the greatest gift in your life? Full sentence.
Meeting a woman that will accept you for who you are and go down as far as you want to go and ride it out with you. That same woman, having been my mother first, is now a different woman, my wife. Like I don't know what it is genealogically, or like if a man's supposed to, you know, you hear a lot of weird stuff about, you know, men are supposed to seek out women and it's their thing. I don't necessarily see that. I don't feel that way about it. If my mom hadn't loved the shit out of me, I wouldn't have made it. I just wouldn't have made it. And if little mama hadn't been willing to love the shit out of me, I wouldn't have made it. It's for me, it's been the most important thing, because really, I'll just throw it all away over nothing. For me, I'm an idiot. I'll trash it all if I don't have anything. Doesn't matter. Having kids is pretty cool too. Sorry, girls.
You could tell, like, the younger generation who, like, something, something to keep them away from what you went through or put yourself through.
I don't think there's anything I could say. I don't think there's anything. I had all this scared straight stuff. Where were we? The first place I was at Mesa Vista. And at Mesa Vista, which is county mental health, but there was like a youth drug program at the county mental health Mesa Vista. They brought everybody in. They told me, there's nothing I can tell anyone. But if you're sitting here listening to me and you can relate to me, if you can understand what I'm saying, maybe it'll help, but there's no specific thing. I'm not that profound, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna go through what you go through. You don't have to do it, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do this like I did it, but it's really glorified, man. It's so glorified. It was glorified in the 90s. All my fucking big white homeboys, they were so tough. All I wanted to do was be like these dudes. They were so tough, man. Of course, I was scared of those football numbers, so I didn't carry a gun, but I just wanted to be like them, man. They looked like they were having fun, so there's nothing, what are you gonna do? Don't do drugs, And maybe seek out faith in a higher power of God, because, I definitely don't speak on my religious beliefs really at all, except for with my wife. I don't talk about it with my parents or my kids. It just seems personal to me, but there's something going on bigger than me, for sure. She didn't, we didn't get here. We had someone help us here, for sure. I know that for a fact. Yeah.
I mean, I think that was like a really solid ending right there. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
What about, like, maybe talk about, real quick, like, as far as doing the work, like, for me, in my experience, like, I struggled my whole life because I didn't want to get involved in Narcotics Anonymous. I didn't want to do any work on myself.
Right.
Like, I thought I was different. Like, I just needed to get off drugs. That was my mindset. I had no idea that there was so much work. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
My attendance in AA or NA is very sparse. Very sparse. I used to go recently, very sparse. I don't go to nothing anymore, but I talk to everybody. My meetings are daily now. My meetings are open with guys like Tier or whoever. Like, the work that I have to do now is to communicate. No, I was hella special. I thought I had it figured out, but you got to get out of self. Like, if you don't give back or do something that gets you out of self, you're just gonna kind of self-implode, You have to, we volunteer. We volunteer. I forget that we volunteer. Don't say the R word. I have to watch how I phrase. I'm super politically correct right now. Probation. When I got out of the lighthouse, probation, I would go to the lighthouse for like 5 or 6 years every week. I went to anger management. For the first 5 or 6, 7 years of my sobriety, I went every week and did anger management and went to meetings there at the facility. And only in the last 3 years did I start to like get so caught up in business that I stopped going. But probation was like, hey, we got an opportunity. We think you might want to do this. And they convinced me to play tennis with mentally challenged kids. So all summer on Monday nights, I would take my wife and my daughters, and we would go with like 25 kids, adult males, adult women, and young boys and girls that are severely mentally challenged and physically challenged and play tennis. It's like herding cats, you know what I mean? It's brutal. But we do it, and I still do that. I never gave that commitment up. I do it every summer, all summer. We still have a couple weeks left right now. What's today, Wednesday? We did it 2 days ago. It was epic. It was epic. We got married recently. We've been together for 15 years, and we got married recently. And the probation officer that runs this program for the tennis went around. Took a photograph of me and the girls and my wife, and went around and had all of these kids sign this picture for us. Completely illegible. There's no legible names. It's a hot mess, but we know what it is. And it's, we know what it is. So as little as I don't physically go to meetings or programs, I talk to all my guys. I talk to everybody in my life, and I don't hang out with no one that's getting fucked up. I'm not hanging out. That's a major one right there. You're getting fucked up. If you're still doing that same old thing, I'm not fucking hanging out with you. I used to make hard lefts. I used to see people with her. I'd see dudes. Like, I live in my neighborhood. I hang out in my neighborhood. I work at the tattoo shop in my neighborhood. So I didn't pull any geographical. I didn't do anything, to avoid anything. I said, okay, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to get an apartment in my neighborhood. And I owe money. I burn people. I cause trouble. It's all still out there. But I said, I'll just go hit it head on. And I used to break hard lefts. I'd see people and like, Now I'm a little more secure with it. Like, I don't really feel like it's up for discussion. Like, you're not going to bring anything up with me. There's no merit to it. So, hey, how are you, bud? Have a good day. Like, doesn't bother me anymore. But a lot of my boys that are still getting fucked up, man, you guys are on your own. I can't do it. I'm not going to be around people that are getting loaded ever. I can't do it. I can't go out at all. I hate it. It's fucking weird. And I really like drinking. I do. Alcohol, Coke, I fucking love it. But I can't do it. I can't do it, and I won't do it. Tell me. Miss anything?
No, it was great.
Yeah. That was good.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
Thank you.